All right, guys, welcome to the Media Hijack Podcast. I'm your host, Billy Walters, and joining me is Chris Unholy Jesus. Yeah.
Hey, happy Tuesday, everyone. Welcome back.
Happy Tuesday, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Media Hijack Podcast. This is episode 257. Before we get started, if you guys want to get some official Media Hijack t-shirts, head over to the MediaHijack.com. Grab you some official t-shirts. Also, if you guys want to catch the replay for this live Twitch video, we're here live every Tuesday, 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time on twitch.tv/MediaHijack. You can catch us on YouTube the following day. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe. Give us that 5-star frog splash. All right, let's get started.
Let's go.
Before we get started, since you've been in the military, right?
Yes, sir.
I heard on the internet that they have to look at your butthole before you join the military. Is that part of like the whole health check?
That's what they tell us.
So, did a guy saw your butthole when you joined the military?
Well, yes. So, like, all right. So,
yeah, explain the process.
All right. So I'll tell you what happened to Chris Unholy when I went through. So, I went through MEPS, which is like this military processing thing. That's where you get physicals done. It is where you swear into the military, all this other stuff, right? And so I went through a physical, blood pressure, everything, and they check everything on you, check your body for tattoos, and one tattoo I have on my arm is like a Japanese sign or whatever. And they have to check that too to make sure you ain't like no.
Yeah,
communist or something. I don't know, but yeah. So all your tattoos were checked, and certain tattoos were checked. And at the time, like, 'cause I got in like in 07, or actually I went through the process in 06. So they was like a little bit more stricter on tattoos back then. Like only 25% can fill up your body or whatever, right? Or a part of your body. But yeah. So anyways, there is a point where they do check your butthole, and so what happened was I never forget I had this Indian guy. Ooh. And he is an Indian guy, and he's like, okay, Patel? Yeah. Karesh Patel or something. But he was my doctor or my physician, whatever you want to call him. And he had me turn around and bend over and like touch my toes. And then after that, you're supposed to spread your cheeks, and you're supposed to like
you have to spread it.
You spread them, and then you like turn your head left, and then you turn your head right to cough. And so,
damn.
And they did, and actually, no, sorry. No, let me explain again. No, so they grab your testicles too as well, and they want you to
grab your testicles.
If I remember correctly, I might be wrong, but they make you cough, right? And there's a part where you bend over, and they want you to cough again. But if I remember correctly, but anyways, the whole point of the story is that they do make you bend over, look at your butthole, and I think the reason why is because back then, this was before gay people were allowed to join the military, which it was already so many gay people in the military, hundreds, thousands of gay people in the military, and but the thing is though, that lifestyle was kept a secret because the military at the time did a thing called "Don't Ask, Don't Tell," where hey, nobody will ask you about you being gay if you don't tell yourself that you're gay. Because if you find out you was gay in the military, you were subject to get kicked. Your ass would get kicked out. Stupid, I know. Like. It was a dumbass time, and this is within our lifetime, and this is when I joined. But from my understanding, from what I was told, the reason why they checked for this was to make sure if you ever had anal sex before.
What?
Now, I don't. That's what I was told, not by the doctor himself, but I was told later on that's why they checked.
So they can look at your butthole and be like, you took it in
you've been ran. Yeah, you can tell. Wow. If you're a doctor, that's like if you're like
sure? Like that's why they checked it.
That's why I was told why, because I'm pretty sure they may have been checking for maybe any kind of like physical defects too or something. I would assume
like a hernia or some shit.
Yeah, something like that, but someone did tell me too that secretly that they were checking to see if you've been ever been pushed in and to see if they're gay or not. Yeah, so I don't know how true
what a gay butthole look like.
Yeah, like you gotta like study like
hey, you gotta study this.
You gotta study like. I don't know if you have to go to school and study like microfiche of buttholes or like I don't know how that will work. A whole bunch
of pictures, and then out of 10 pictures, you got to pick the 3 gay buttholes.
The ones that's been pushed in.
And then Karesh Patel, he happens to guess all 3 right out of 10. They're like, you know what, Patel? You just got yourself a 3-figure job. looking at
Successfully.
buttholes every single day, 5 days a week.
And they're all going to be under the age of 25. Because almost everybody
He was
doing the
like-
military is like 18, 19.
He's like, y'all got overtime? Yes. Double. Double
90
butthole.
hours.
Bob says, how can
Yeah.
you tell?
I don't know. I ain't go to butthole school. I don't know.
Yeah, that was
But
wild.
That's what I was told. That's what I was
Damn.
told. And now I was told by somebody else in the military. They weren't no doctor either, so I don't know how true that is. But in the time while I was joining, though, there was a don't ask, don't tell thing popping off where you weren't allowed to come out as being gay. And they didn't get rid of it until like Obama became president, and then they got rid of it.
Oh.
And then that's when you find out all these people that you've been working with were gay. and the crazy thing is, being from Atlanta, I knew who all the gay people were. But if you're from Atlanta, you know who's gay. You spot a gay person in a minute.
Yeah, you can tell. Like,
Yeah.
I knew one person that joined the military that was gay, but he told everybody he was straight. But I was like, I don't know about that, big dog.
See,
I think you know him too. But we'll probably talk offline about it.
yeah, let me know. I'm
But we
curious.
went
I
to
don't even
school
know.
with him. Yeah. I was like, how dare you played everybody? How dare you played your whole family?
Man, but yeah, the military was wild back then. It was like in our lifetime, they didn't want gay people. It wasn't they didn't want gay people in the military. They just didn't want to hear about it, which to me is like you don't want gay people in the military. But I remember when they got rid of Don't Ask, Don't Tell.
Okay.
Like all these guys I work with, like came out as gay. Well, I found out people was gay here and there, and I was like, well, I ain't no surprise to me. I knew they were gay. Like they didn't have to tell me. I got eyes, and
Okay,
I'm from
so
Atlanta.
now we know the whole story of why they look at your butthole. So we're
Yeah,
gonna just say
conspiracy.
it's official. They're just
It's
trying to
official.
see if you're gay.
Yes,
I thought it was like they're trying to check if you like health conditions, like if you have a hernia or any other type of health condition. Like, okay, he checks out. But
If this
they're
is any
looking
other-
at see if you're loose the whole time.
If this was America, if this was any other country, I would believe that was the case. But in America, no, this country was weird like that, and I believe they would. This would be something that they would look at. This
They
I've
look
never
at your-
thought like
they look at your
I
butthole.
was
They're like, hold on, that shit like a firecracker blew that shit out. They're like beep beep. Like, no, I don't think we can
somebody put a
accept this guy.
Roman-
Yeah, his
somebody
shit.
put a
look-
Roman candle in here, like just blew
yeah,
your
his
shit out.
all blown out. Like the fucking, I don't know, like the walls of the dam has all been compromised. You know, like
The structure's been
jeez.
compromised.
He took way more than one glizzy. He did like a fucking
That's
gang
it.
bang in Midtown
Like,
after he left the bulldog. All right, let's
let's
main
get it,
topic of the
man.
night. I just wanted to confirm because I don't know anybody in the military besides you and maybe a few other people. And I just heard that online. They're saying, "Hey, did you know military look at your butthole?" But yeah, let's move on.
They do.
I'm gonna clip this one. We're gonna clip this one.
Do it.
Millions. Let's go. All right. So, first topic of the night. We're gonna be talking about the 1814 London beer flood, sponsored by Chris and Holy. Let's go.
Let's get it. The London beer flood of 1814. This crazy ass story. So on October 17th, 1814, a deadly industrial accident occurred in London that would later be known as the London beer flood. So the incident took place at the Mew and Company Brewery. Now Mew is French for better, so Better and Company Brewery doesn't make sense to me. But Mew and Company Brewery on Tottenham Court Road. This brewery specialized in producing porter, a dark beer that was extremely popular in London at the time.
Is this similar
meet
to
the
like
man-
Guinness? My bad.
I don't know. Is Guinness a porter? I was like Guinness.
I know
just
it
call
was
it
like a
called-
dark style beer.
It is dark. It is good God Almighty, it's dark. I can't remember. So with this company, to meet demands, the company stored large quantities of beer in massive wooden vats. Some of these vats stored over 20 feet tall and were held together by iron hoops. Earlier that day, though, one of the workers noticed that, hey, a metal hoop on a large fermentation vat had slipped off. This type of issue was not considered unusual, and no immediate action was taken to repair the reinforced structure. Well, approximately 1 hour later, that vat fell, and all hell broke loose. So, what happened that day? was like this rupture that released from the actual vat, and it released over 135,000 gallons of beer. The force of the explosion caused a chain reaction, damaging nearby vats and releasing even more liquid. In total, an estimate of 327,000 gallons of beer surged out of the brewery and down the streets of London.
Damn.
The pressure of
the streets.
Yes, beer everywhere, man.
300,000 gallons? What did that even look like?
Oh, like a tsunami based off of some of the eyewitness stuff I was reading. It was literally described as a tsunami of beer just coming down the street. And
they should remake that scene. Like reenact that
scene.
They should do
it. Make it into a miniseries. Like,
whoever got like the budget for it, like Mr. Beast, like, hey, reenact like these old scenes from like the 1800s of these catastrophic events. Like, what does 320,000 gallons of beer look like?
Going down the street.
Going down like a town or some shit.
It's gotta be. And they said like the vats itself were like 20 feet tall. So man.
What is the vats? Like, is that the tower? The beer towers?
Yeah, it's like the vat systems.
So
yeah,
like
the actual
silo or some shit.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so that's why one of them ruptured, because they're supposed to have like iron like hoops around each of them to basically contain the damn pressure of all that damn beer in it. But some guy walking around there, fucking just genius, looked up, was like, "Hey, there's an iron hoop missing." Okay, I'm going to lunch, and then an hour later, the shit just bursted and just went straight down the street.
Did anybody die from this?
Yes, there are some body counts. I was going to get that in a second because it's coming.
So
it says, the pressure from the flood destroyed part of the brewery's wall, allowing the beer to rush into the surrounding streets. The area immediately affected was St. Giles Rookery, a densely populated and impoverished neighborhood known for overcrowded housing and poor living conditions. So a bunch of poor folks got hit with this damn tsunami, and the force of the flood caused multiple buildings to collapse. Homes were destroyed, and residents were either trapped under debris or overwhelmed by incoming surge of liquid. 8 people altogether lost their lives directly as a result of this disaster.
Damn.
Among the victims, 8 people. So among the victims were Mary Mulvey and her young son, who were killed when their home collapsed on top of them. A 4-year-old girl named Hannah Bamfield also died. Several of the victims had been gathered in a basement for a wake when the flood broke through the wall and filled the room, leading to multiple deaths. And there was also reports that described a scene of confusion and destruction, and survivors attempted to rescue others who were trapped in the house because there are still good people out there trying to save others even during a disaster. So that was cool. While others, of course, navigated the streets and started clearing debris out of the water. I mean, clearing people the debris out of the street and the beer as well. But of course, during this disaster, an unusual nature of this disaster drew a crowd of people out there with some mugs to scoop up some beer from the streets. Yes, that's right, folks. In true human fashion, there was folks out there with their mugs, like, yeah, let's go, bro, let's get these suds. And they were just dipping their mugs in. Man, people filling out barrels of beer and like, yo, hey, Susan, get the other side, baby. And then they carried it off. They was collecting the beer. I'm not gonna lie. That was my first idea. That was my first idea when I heard about this story. I was like, oh man, hey, back up the truck. Like, come on.
Get the bathtub out.
Right? Bust out the bathtub.
Damn.
But yeah,
imagine
so
dying from drowning from a beer flood.
Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah, that's a bad way to drown because you're drowning and then it's like carbonated water.
Yeah, it's not even just clear water. It's just straight.
It's burning your throat. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
And then midway you get drunk, I think you die. Like midway you enjoyed it. Like, oh, life is great. Damn. It's like it's scary, and then it was fun, and then you died.
And then you just go to sleep forever.
Yeah. And scene.
And scene.
God is like, and...
He's like, welcome.
How was that? You like that?
How's the simulation? Are you good? He's like in the chair. Like
my son wrote the script. Like, that was crazy, right? Imagine that. Like, your life is just like a scripted movie, and then when it ends, like, and scene, and then you wake up and like, And then everybody's clapping. Damn.
Oh.
65 years, huh? Like it took you that long.
Right? He made it.
Because they're like they're waiting for that moment to happen and scene. And then the movie ends, credit. And then they see the cameras like, get shut off. They're like, yeah, hey, that was good. It's like, what else?
Right. Like they're closing up a set, like on a
Yeah. Wouldn't that be crazy? Like, holy shit, the whole life we were just in a play the whole time.
I would scream.
Damn,
I don't know if I think I'd be horrified.
Makes you wonder, man, like, is this shit a play? And are we playing it too safe?
Are we on the stage? This is all for somebody else's enjoyment?
Because if you think about it, Steve-O from Jackass, he didn't play nothing safe, and he's still alive.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stuff he did, it looks like he's supposed to die like 1,000 times.
Man, unless he knew.
I don't think he knew. Like, maybe it just, in his script, that wasn't planned for him. So the script writer's like, hey, we planned this shit for 65, but it's doing all these crazy stuff to make it look like he's supposed to die at like 30.
Yeah, right, at 25, 30. And this man.
Yeah, because when he was like on drugs, hardcore, that was crazy. I was like, the drugs didn't kill him?
Yeah, right. That alone should have stopped him.
That alone.
If anything else.
Stop a whole bunch of other people.
Not even the Jackass stuff, just that.
Yeah, that's why it makes you wonder. It's like,
Do you know how the story's going to end? And if you did, would you push the limits of your reality?
Yeah, it's like let's say, right, like the age you're going to die. So anything that you do in life, like you're never going to die until that age. Like, would you live life different?
Maybe. I think so. Maybe.
Yeah. Like if it's like
if I thought I was going to check out.
Like if it's guaranteed you're going to die like 75. And anything you do, you're just not going to die.
Yeah. Like, hey, I'm 40. I'm going to go jump out of an airplane with no parachute. Like, whoa.
Something might save you. Like some freak accident,
you never know.
Something.
Hey, look, there's a story of a lady that jumped out of a plane one time skydiving, and her parachute didn't deploy, and she slammed into the ground. She lived, but I think she's the only person in like human history to survive something like that. Though.
She tested that shit.
Yeah, I'm like, ooh, she knew the script.
She was like, oh shit, like, so you don't die until before your time.
Let's bust this body up.
But then, like, the other question is like, what about like suicide?
I guess it'd be like a misfire. I guess the gun would jam. I
think suicide, the rule might be a little different.
Oh, that's when you kind of like, you're ripping the script up.
Yeah, and then you get in trouble too.
Yeah, you can't deviate off the tracks.
Like, what the hell, man? Like, we were doing something good, and you threw the whole script away like that.
You just had to survive the arc.
Go back.
You was going through a character development arc. You just had to survive it. It wasn't gonna last forever.
And then you send yourself back. Because your soul, your higher self's like, no, fam. You should have never done that. And I'm so disappointed in myself. Go back.
Rewind.
I hated how I did that one thing. Go back.
Everything rewinds back.
All right, back to the story.
Back to the story. All right, so following the incident on inquest, an inquest was held to determine responsibility. The court ultimately ruled that the event was an act of God. This classification meant that the brewery was not held legally responsible for the deaths or the damage caused because, of course, as a result, the company did not face criminal charges or significant financial penalties. In fact, due to the loss of large quantity of taxed products, the brewery was granted financial relief, aka reparations, by the government, which allowed them to recover some of its losses. And everyone that was killed and in a town that was destroyed really didn't get much help at all. It was all like, oh, sorry guys, you were just whatever. Like, these companies ain't gonna be held liable. Even back then, the government still treated and coddled companies like babies. And
because it was their companies.
Yeah,
they protected their own people.
It's always like this. These governments always look out for the people at the top. Don't matter how many innocent people get killed in the wake of.
It's dumb at the top, and those are their companies. So of course they're gonna look after themselves. Like, they're probably a part of this secret society cult. But then the secret society cult happens to own like these big companies, like in beer or whatever.
Right.
Because if it was like me and you that had that beer company, right, and then we had an accident, dude, we are locked up.
Oh, we're done.
We're done. And we're not even in the crew. And then, of course, to be like, hey, you guys fucked up. You guys got to serve some time. Yeah. And your whole company is down the drain.
That's even like, well, because like even too, like a lot of these politicians, and I'm pretty sure even like right now, and I'm pretty sure even back then, and this is over in London, a lot of politicians, they'll buy like stock in some of these companies too, so they can get some kickbacks. They'll, they'll lean laws in one direction just to make these companies kind of flourish and flex, their muscles a little bit more. Mm-hmm. So yeah, these politicians usually bought out by all these, like they have like some kind of working relationship with a lot of these companies, anyways. Even in America, like a lot of politicians used to lay in the same bed with nicotine farm and all this other shit, which is why it took a long time for cigarettes to even be considered
especially pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah, and pharmaceutical companies, yep. Exactly. That's the perfect example right there. It's pharmaceutical companies about how much damage they'll do to a community, kill countless people, and the government's like, hey, pat on the back, what you did was wrong. In fact, we're going to give you more money because you lost money because of all this. So we're going to make sure all you guys land on your feet, despite the fact this was negligence and maybe evil on your part on what y'all just did. So
a whole crime on humanity, and then they get a little pat on the back. They get a little bailout. Yeah. Try again, big dog.
All right, sure, we'll give you another shot. In fact, we're gonna give you another shot so you can kill more people next time. It's crazy. And then you got like a world full of broken, innocent people who were just caught in the crossfire of these big companies, and they have to learn to pick up the pieces of their broken world. And the world keeps on spinning. It
recycles over and over again. They do the same thing over and over again.
Another cycle, yep, and it starts all over again. Because this shit is old. This shit older than anybody in this country, on this planet right now. This is an old story. So, and to see like this happening back then and see how things are now, even with like stuff like, because this is a huge telling of like how infrastructure at times is treated too. Instead of actually stepping forward and holding this company accountable and be like, hey, we need to make a law to like, there needs to be some kind of infrastructure bill in place so these companies don't be creating these cheap ass things like, cheap vats where the damn metal brace falls off and kills, almost damn near 10 people. The government's just kind of like, okay, cool, whatever, on to the next one. As long as we keep making that money. Because it's all about spending less and making as much money as you can. So it's crazy. So estimates at the time placed the financial damage in range of several thousand British pounds. Adjusting to modern value, though, this is roughly equivalent between 1 to 2 million pounds today, or approximately 1.5 to 2.5 million US dollars. Now, this figure reflects property damage only and loss of goods, but does not account for the broader human impact. So, this $2.5 million, they're only talking about the damages done, from my understanding, to the brewery itself. They're not talking about the homes it destroyed, the people that it killed, or anything. They're trying to cover, like, the courts and everybody's trying to cover it up on, we're not going to worry about this because they don't matter. These people's lives and what we just took from them don't matter. But this company, is $2.5 million worth of damage, as that's what's considered damage, not what happened to the people.
So the people that didn't get like no help in rebuilding their houses and whatever got damaged.
Well, so like the victims themselves, all of the working class communities within the St. Giles area received little in the way of compensation, and their deaths did not even lead to any major safety reforms at all. Immediate regulatory changes within the brewing industry. So yeah, after all that shit happened, they didn't like create laws or do anything to strengthen safety of that area. It was just business as usual. Hey, we'll accommodate some of you people for your deaths, but for the most part, it's until basically like ... to be continued to the next disaster type of thing. Because it happens, and America has the same issue too. Because we talked about it on one episode about how when it comes to a lot of these railroad tracks in America that cut through areas, especially like how we grew up south of Atlanta, nothing but railroad tracks that goes all over the damn place. But they talk about how a lot of parts of America have these railroad tracks and how many trains fall off these tracks, and these tracks and actually like the brakes on these trains are like actually like Civil War era brakes. And a lot of these train companies don't want to replace these brakes because it would be too much money. But when you have these trains flipping off the tracks and all these chemicals are on it that's going to factories, they destroy the environment. They get in the water, they get in all this stuff, and the government always covers this up. A lot of people don't realize how many of these damn trains fall off the tracks, but It's all because infrastructure. They don't want to put money into infrastructure because, well, these corporations don't want to pay no more money to make things safe wise. And then we have a government that's kind of like, cool, fine. Well, we'll be on the company side and we'll have no regulations. So, and that's what happens. And then lives get lost because of it, which fucking sucks. So, but if there's any disaster I wouldn't mind being a part of, it would be a beer flood. if I had to choose.
Beer flood.
Beer flood. What else we got? I'm almost wrapping this up right here. So the London beer flood highlights several important issues associated with early industrialization. At the time, large-scale manufacturing operations often operated without strict safety regulations. Structural failures, even when warning signs were present, were sometimes treated as routine risk rather than urgent hazards. The incident also reflects the social inequalities of the period. The damage occurred in a poor neighborhood, and those most affected had the least protection and the fewest resources. Meanwhile, the company responsible for the infrastructure involved was available to continue operating and recover financially. And so today, London beer flood is often remembered for its unusual and almost surreal nature. However, beyond its novelty, it serves as a very example of the consequences of inadequate safety standards and unequal impact of industry accidents. And at the end of the day, bless you. And at the end of the day, the question that people really need to ask is, when it's all said and done, who really bears the cost of these damages? Is it the company or the people who lost family ones and loved ones to a corporation that just wants to pinch pennies? So there's that for food for thought. And that's my story.
All right. That's nice.
Nice.
Cheers.
Beer. Cheers, mate.
Let me take a quick break and then we'll come back. I'm going to talk about drugs. Let's go.
Let's get it.
All right. Next topic of the night. So you know how if you listen to the podcast all the time, you guys know like I'm like a mushroom advocate. Like I'm big on like psychedelics and psilocybin therapy. Yes. I came across a video online on Instagram of a girl who is paralyzed waist down, and then she takes a microdose of psilocybin mushrooms, and then her leg starts moving. Let me show you guys the video.
Oh, yes, please.
Here it is.
In a wheelchair.
Oh, why is her head there?
I'm paralyzed from here down, and I'll just show you kind of what happens after about 20 minutes. So it's been about 20 minutes, and my legs are fired up right now. So I'm just going to turn the camera around, and they'll just start to shake like this. And I usually help them by lifting them up.
This is after a microdose.
Any sort of sensation, like when I'm going like this, they're trying to fight me right now. Like I can't lift my leg really that well. It's clenching really hard. It's like my muscles turn on with just the slightest, the slightest touch. And that's after the smallest microdose. And so even going like this, it kind of throws me back in my chair a little bit. And so yeah, I do the little microdose before I get in the standing frame. And yeah. And so if you're curious to know what kind of recovery or what that could look like, I am documenting my journey.
So like with her, what I heard is that the reason why she did that is because she heard it on another podcast where somebody was talking about the similar effects when you take like a psilocybin mushroom for people who are paralyzed waist down, like half of their body starts moving, and then she's like, let me try this. And then she tried it, she documented everything, and now like I think now like her legs are like really moving now.
Damn.
She's like walking now and shit. And what I'm thinking is like the psilocybin mushrooms, they're making like the neuron connections back to where you were paralyzed, and they're turning it back on. They're turning the switches back on that got cut off.
Right.
Like when you take it, it's probably making that connection back, and then they're turning the lights back on in the areas that need to be working again. That's what I think was happening.
Interesting. It reminds me of that Adult Swim cartoon, Common Side Effects, where that guy
I still need to watch that.
Man, it's complete. Like they got the first third. I hope it gets a second season, but that check it out, man. That show is. I feel like I think you can probably see this too a little bit. There's an era of like I think we're entering with people are starting to understand mushrooms more, and it's starting to become at least another lane for people to find help outside of the hands of the government. Or being addicted to whatever shit they're gonna give you, because shrooms ain't even like on that like type of addiction type thing anyways. That's not even.
It's like 0% you get addicted off of that.
Yeah, it doesn't even function on that level. So, but the common side effects the show does, based about this guy who had like a magic mushroom, and this shit could cure anything, including death. This shit was a powerful mushroom, and the government wants this man for this mushroom that he spent decades trying to grow, like trying different experiments, everything, trying to grow it. Mushroom died. Tried, and he finally created like this magic mushroom. And then basically the show is about him trying to escape the government with this magic mushroom. Very great show, highly recommend. But this is what it reminds me of
fiction
like
show, right? To be
man,
clear.
a fiction. Right now it's fiction.
Yeah.
Right now, but it's interesting that we talked about this too, because the other day I can't remember what the hell I was watching, but they was talking about the DNA inside of people and how people like there's a thing where evolutionary wise there's a thing it's called like hemo something or whatever it is. I can't remember the name of it. But within no, not hemoglobin. It's called something else. But it's within your
No, go ahead.
I can't remember the name. But like the DNA strain itself, there's a part within in your body on an evolutionary level that turns off certain genes in your body depending on what you need. Like, so if like, hey, like, well, at one time, your people used to be hunters and gatherers, but you don't really run that much anymore. So we're going to cut back on your speed, but we're going to allocate your energy to something else. But it's something in your body that allocates your DNA to where like, hey, like you don't fight no more out in the dark or hunt in the dark. So we're going to turn down your vision of nighttime a little bit and allocate that energy to another part of your body. Like I don't using your fingers. Huh?
It's like an RPG game.
Yeah, it's like a real shit. I was reading about this the other day. I was like, what? And so but it says like the way it was described, it talks about like how basically like you're on your body and it's a part of your DNA, how because it like everything you do is based off of your DNA strand, and all your skills and everything are based off of what your evolutionary process has allowed you to use. But it's almost like flipping off a switch, on and off, on and off. And depending on what skills that your body may need going forward, your DNA can adjust for you to actually survive in your settings or to adjust to whatever you're trying to do. Crazy shit. But that's what it sounds like too, where like, hey, like this, your legs have been shut down. This strain right here, this switch that's off for your legs, we're gonna turn that shit on. If that makes sense. Mm-hmm. That's what it sounds like to me in a weird way. Like, hey, like your legs are useless. Well, not useless, but your legs don't function no more.
When your legs don't work like they used to before.
Yep. Yeah, it's not like it's like you said, like hits a switch or a spark to get that.
Yeah, or it create like these nerves that it reconnects to the old nerves that's been like disconnected. Like the train tracks, like at that one part got disconnected, and then you take these psilocybin mushrooms, right, and it regrow these neuron that links back up to the nerves in your legs, and now your legs are freaking out. They're like, "Holy shit, we're back!" And that's why, like, you saw her legs like start shaking, like it's all fired up. It's like, "Holy shit, like we're here!" And everybody that's like that works in that sector in her legs, they all woke up. They're like, "Holy shit, we're back! We got a job again."
Oh, we walk.
And they're getting their paycheck like TSA. Like, "Oh shit, we got a job back. We're getting paid again. Let's get this leg working again.
Start running."
That's a good way to explain it, right? Like, we're getting paid again.
Let's get this leg back running. To work. Yeah, we back, baby.
Because they show like what happens like when you're like a cell get connected to psilocybin, and then it shows under a microscope how like the neuron links it expands and reconnect. I can't explain it, man. Nah, I'm not a scientist.
It's not like Stitches have everything back together again. Because basically, like when your legs are like that, it's like the nerves are dead. You can't feel nothing. It's just weight at that point. Right. But it shows that these nerves that are damaged on whatever level that they're damaged on can be repaired. That's what it's looking like. At least the process of like,
because I know like you're seeing like a reaction like that after taking a microdose, which is not a dose where trip out. It's like it's a small dose. You don't feel nothing, and then her legs move like that. An effect to like a microdose. Like you got to study that. Like, hey, something's happening. Bob says the DNA strands get capped. She's talking about the telomeres. Telomeres. Yeah, it's like they say. What? Never mind. I might sound stupid. Never mind.
Nah, let me hear. Let me explain it the best way you can. I might pick
like
up
our DNA strand. We're supposed to have like a whole lot more stuff going on,
right?
But like it's like we're all cut in half, and then on top of that, they put like a cap on the telomeres. What I don't know how you say it.
On top of the strand.
Yeah, like let's say like we're supposed to live like way longer, but they're like, hey, let's cap it off like right here, bloop. But they put a little cap on it, so it doesn't matter like how healthy you live. You cannot live past like 120 if you do everything correct.
Right.
But there's more like the double helix DNA strand. I think it's like more than that. Like we're missing a couple stuff that we're supposed to have. I don't know what they called it, but they say we're. You know how they call like junk DNA? It's not junk DNA. It's just because they can't explain it.
So it's like
like
we don't
what the
know
fuck you gonna say? Junk DNA is like shut up, yeah. You don't know. Just because you don't know, don't call it junk.
Maybe it's untapped DNA.
Yeah, and I think that's like the shit that make us feel like gods. And I don't say that lightly. You know how they say only God can judge us? Well, guess what? People been doing their whole lives. Fucking judging people. And minus the F word. They're judging people all the time. I was like, damn, people judge people all the time. So I was like, but if we're gods, right? Of course that makes sense.
Now we judging.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
You got me. Oh my god. Hey, nah.
And scene, and then the credits come up.
Scene, right?
Roll camera. But yeah, like the girl being paralyzed. Like you guys can follow her and see her story because she's about to walk soon. I think she's about to walk.
Hey man, shrooms is the new wave, man. That's why Colorado trying to jump on it right now. Before everybody else gets on it. Colorado trying to like create this. We about to be y'all can have all the weed all y'all want. We about to be the shroom capital on top of a mile high up from all y'all.
Yeah. They call like the shroom boom.
Yeah.
I think it's happening again.
It is, man. Especially like right now, because I feel like, and this is just, I'm on, like, I think America's about to enter a dark period, a very dark period, and going forward, we're gonna have to rely on ourselves, the people. If we're gonna have to rely on ourselves as the people and not like lean into like big pharma for our medication or anything like that, because the whole system's collapsing around us. I would like to like at least know somebody who like might be a shroom doctor who could like maybe, if you know something about shrooms, maybe help me with my illness or something. Drink this shroom tea, something like somebody. Some of these people out here, we got to learn how to like be these physicians and
you know. I mean, you know who would be like the main doctor like for the world?
Is that
the people that do Chinese medicine? The old school Chinese medicines. Like, I mean, they're still using it now, but I think they knew all that shit thousands of years ago. I think they have the cure for everything. Chinese medicine.
I think any doctor from any old world. I don't trust like the way medicine. The medicine is starting like not starting, but how medicine in America has been for a while. I see why people are starting to reach out for more holistic type of avenues because. You know, ain't gonna be like, for one, like a lot of these companies want to use cheap ass ingredients to make stuff for us anyway. So, I mean, I feel like old world medicine might be that thing that we might have to rely on at some point, especially the way this direction, the way this world is going. And what I just heard the other day about the world's about to look like in 10 years. Yeah, we're gonna need some shroom docs out there, man, because this shit about to be like Book of Eli and this motherfucker. That shit about to be crazy.
It is gonna be crazy. But yeah, that's all I got for that one.
Interesting story, man.
Well, I got another one, but maybe we already talked about it. So I came across like another video where they're saying like the top zodiac signs that's most mentioned in the Epstein files. I think I did send it to you, but I came across it again today and I thought it was kind of funny.
Let's do it.
So like the top most mentioned zodiac signs in the Epstein list, like somebody actually went through it. They look up their birthdays and everything. Like, all right, let's see who's like the zodiac sign that's mentioned the most. So in last place, that got mentioned the least amount, is a Sagittarius.
Lame.
There's only like 2 people that they found on the list as a Sagittarius. So like Sagittarius are not known to be on the Epstein list. And Bob is a Sagittarius, so yeah, that is pretty lame. And then I'll just tell you like the top 3, because there's like the one in the middle it doesn't count. So like the third place is Gemini. You know any Geminis?
I see that. Yeah,
makes sense.
I know a lot. Yes, the 2 sides of them. Like, hey, I'm an adult and I like kids.
A lot of Geminis in the Epstein list. Second place, can you guys guess?
Scorpio.
No. Scorpio
Okay.
is actually like above Sagittarius, so they're not really on there.
Okay, so it's like, okay.
So second place is Cancer.
What's that, January, right? Something
No,
like that.
Cancer's like July.
Oh, the end of June.
it's
That's right.
before
My bad.
Leo,
End of
yeah.
June, beginning of July. Yeah. Beginning of July. Yeah.
Yeah. So guess what number 1 is? And it's been mentioned over 1,000 times. Over 1,000 people.
I'm gonna say Aries.
No, it's Leos.
I know it.
We're number 1.
I knew that. I didn't want to say. I was like, I don't know, man.
It's me and
Like,
you, man. We're on. If we were celebrities, we would have been on that list because we would have got invited.
man.
Because we bring that Leo energy to like, fuck it, invite these 2 dudes. They have a podcast talking about shit, invite them.
If I'm trying to spend company with somebody, they better drink and keep up with me. Ain't no kid gonna be able to keep up with my ass. They be drinking a sippy cup. Get out of here.
They're not even going to tell us there's kids there. They'd be like, hey, there's a party on this island and you're invited.
Oh, and you walk around and you see like a little kid carrying a food tray. Like,
I was like, hey, are these like midgets? Like, you guys gonna... What's going on?
boop, boop, be doop. You're like,
Hey, yo,
what?
Ep, what's going on?
You're like, Shirley Temple? Like,
No, that's not a midget. That's a child. It's like, what the hell?
boom.
But then, like, your names are on the list.
I know it's gonna be like some Chuck E. Cheese. Like, I was trying to have a good time.
Damn. Fucking Leos, man. You
Gotta
just
calm
be
down out
getting
there,
into
Leo.
situations like that.
Damn, thinking you're gonna have a good time at a island resort? Oh, all exclusive? Mm-hmm.
Here for a good time and a long time.
And a long time.
What else we got?
Man, Leos. Oh, let's talk about this meteor that blew up in the sky over Kansas. Should I talk about that? Yeah, we'll talk about that. Because we haven't had a good meteor story in a while. At least I don't think so. So, this past weekend, what actually happened was reports began circulating online claiming that a 7-ton meteor struck or threatened the Cleveland, Ohio area. The story quickly gained traction across social media, with some posts suggesting major damage or a nearby impact event. Now, what I did hear online, I didn't hear about like the actual impact of the meteor. I did hear that it may have shattered some windows and whatnot, because that meteor was big as hell. It even created a nice little sonic boom. We can show the video now.
All
If we
right.
got it.
Levels of confusion in Cleveland after a loud boom rang through the region, frightening the pets in this person's backyard and stopping drivers in their tracks.
Oh, what the was that?
The fireball,
Meteor,
also
whatever.
spotted as far away as Pittsburgh, streaking through the sky.
Anyone that's in Northeast Ohio, did you hear the loud boom?
It sounded like a freaking bomb went off in the Cleveland area.
NASA says it was a meteor fracturing into small pieces when an asteroid nearly 6 feet in diameter and weighing around 7 tons entered the atmosphere.
Why didn't they
The
ever warn us
ground
about
beneath
those
my
meteors
feet
that's
was no
coming in?
longer stable.
Ralph Harvey
Yeah,
studies
right?
planetary materials like these at Case Western Reserve in Ohio.
We're just basically talking about space debris that's falling into the Earth's atmosphere, right? Why don't we hear about this kind of thing more?
Well, the main reason is it's actually more common than most people think. What's different about this one is it came during daylight hours right over a major metropolitan area.
So it turns out
What are we, dinosaurs?
It's nothing prehistoric or even life-threatening.
There is a huge comet headed towards Earth.
Just a
just
fiery
watched that
moment
movie.
shaking up some shocked
Sorry,
Ohioans. Sam Brock, NBC News.
Yeah, like my thing is, why we never get warned about meteors like that? That actually, like, you can actually see. Like, shouldn't we get a warning? Like, hey, there's gonna be a meteor that's coming by because we already spotted it coming in our atmosphere. Why we never get
like-
those warnings?
Right, we saw it 2 years ago on track to fly past us. Maybe I don't know. I mean, I wonder if it's because they don't want to cause mass panic. Because if you make an announcement about it, then maybe people think it's going to make impact. So if it's not going to make impact, I guess don't make a fuss about it. I mean, but that did a sonic boom.
How would they even know though?
Yeah, I don't know.
That makes me think, like, do they even know in the first place if shit's gonna hit our atmosphere?
I think if it's big enough, hell yeah. They got like shit. They've got trajected as like, oh, it's supposed to hit Earth in 2045, and it's like X amount of light years away, and it's supposed to show up at this time. I think they have something right now that they're considering, like, wanting to send astronauts out to this asteroid and put rockets on it, and then once they place the rockets on the asteroid, start over, like, nudging the asteroid over, like, bit by bit by bit by bit, because they're scared if you blow it up, then you're gonna just, like, it's basically taking a shotgun and then shooting it at Earth and then doing buckshots everywhere. So they know when big shit's coming and how to get in front of it and prevent our entire extinction. But I think something that small may slip under the radar sometimes, and it's coming in hot and fast, and I don't know.
Yeah, because another one actually, like, flew. I think in McDonough in Henry County, it flew through somebody's house.
See?
And if somebody was home, they would have got hit. And nobody got that warning.
This is a show I used to watch back in the day. You ever remember that channel, Spike TV? I don't even know if it's still around.
Yeah.
Like back in the 2000s, it was like the Man Channel. Spike TV had this show called A Million Ways to Die, I think it was called.
1,000 Ways to Die.
And, yeah, and it was a good show. This show, like, this stories, like, assortment of stories of how people died, right? And so one episode was this guy, he was at a house party, and I guess he got into an argument with somebody. He went out back because he was like, the music was too loud for him. And while he was out back, and he was near some, like, he's like, it was a pool in the backyard. It was nighttime. He went out back, and a piece of a fucking meteorite went right through his chest. Like, just went right through his chest. And he, like, they said he was dead before he fell into the pool, like gone. And the way they described it was like, imagine being killed, like, imagine your destiny being decided for you hundreds of thousands of years ago by this one little piece of rock that was flying through space, and it was destined to kill you. Like, you were dead before you even born type shit. It's like,
I think we talked about this before. It's like the same setup, everything.
oh, for real? Okay.
Yeah, and then I also said it's not real. That's a fake story. Yeah.
It is a
I
fake
remember
story?
this
Oh,
whole
man.
thing. You said the same thing, and then I said this is
Damn,
not
man.
real. That whole show is made up, dude.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
man, I wish you didn't tell me, man. That's like
no
finding
way.
out wrestling.
Yeah, that
It's
whole
like
show is
finding
made
out
up.
wrestling. It's like finding out wrestling is not real to me now. This broke
Yeah.
my
I
childhood
was like,
dream.
damn, like we said the same exact thing in another episode. The same thing.
Well, when you do 257 episodes, this shit gets kind of
Yeah, it's like telling the same story from your childhood. Like, I heard this before.
I remember this on episode
Well,
138.
that's how you know, like, the story is real.
Man,
When
yeah.
it comes up
'cause
again, like, oh, okay, that story is real.
Yeah, he's telling the truth. He did see that fake story. Like,
Yeah. Oh, and then when you can tell it's fake, it's when you bring it up, right? You bring up the story that I told, and I'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's like, oh, that story's fake.
Oh, fake. So if you always remember the truth.
Yeah, because the truth, you remember that shit.
All right, so what happened that day? What we just witnessed is that eyewitnesses in parts of Midwest Ohio reported seeing a bright streak of light moving across the sky, sometimes described as green or white, followed by a brief flash. Some individuals reported hearing delayed booms or rumbling sounds. If anyone's ever heard of a sonic boom before, woo, it was scary. It made me feel tiny the first time I heard one. I was like, oh my god. If I was close to the sonic boom epicenter, I would probably be destroyed. The sonic boom is incredibly powerful. So these sounds are consistent with what's known as a sonic boom, which can occur when a meteoroid breaks apart in the atmosphere. Several eyewitness accounts describe a bright flash lighting up in the sky for a few seconds, and then shit just went flying everywhere after that. Now, regarding the 7-ton claim, the meteor that enter Earth's atmosphere can indeed weigh several tons before entry. However, the vast majority of the mass is lost due to extreme heat and fracture during its descent. By the time any remnants reach the ground, if they reach the ground at all, they are typically much smaller. In this case, there have been no confirmed reports of meteorite fragments recovered in Cleveland because the United States government has already collected it. I'm just kidding. It doesn't say that part. But that is, I would assume the government would be
I wouldn't be surprised
right
though.
there, catch all that kryptonite.
Because there's like farmers, right, where they have stories where they said, hey, there's a meteorite that fell down, but they think it's like UFO spaceship. And by the time like the farmer get to the spot, it's already been blocked off by like military.
Yeah.
And he lives on the farm.
Like,
and he lives on the farm, and then the military got there before he did. So it makes you wonder, like, what type of shit like, do they even know? Like, if they got their shit on the ground, like, they got their people there way before he got there, and he lived there.
On his property, right? On my property, and you beat me.
Yeah, like, what? Like, that's when you know something's weird, man. Like, something's off about
I was expecting a
that.
visitor. Yeah, oh, hell yeah. Anytime you show up like that, you was expecting it.
Yeah. They're on some supernatural level, because that's weird.
You would think that if it was going to come into contact with the ground, they would say, I mean, look, we get Amber Alerts all the damn time. So, like, y'all can't throw no meteorite, like, alert. Because I see what you're saying. Like, even if it's not going to make contact, give us, like, hey, be advised, a meteorite might be flying through over your area at this time.
We don't get those alerts.
Don't be alarmed. There's no danger involved in it. But, if you guys want to see a good spectacle, you're more than likely to see it. It should be hitting the sky like around 2 o'clock p.m. Oh, maybe they just don't know. Maybe some shit just flies under the radar and just boom, boom.
Man, like, don't they got satellites that operate like ring cameras where they get like motion detection if it passes like a certain frame? Like, all right, I guess we're going to get a meteor like coming through this frame, and it looks like it's targeted for Ohio.
I don't know if they do, but I guarantee you that they do have that. The reason why I say this too, because they found Osama bin Laden in a cave, bro, with a satellite. They found his heat signature, and this motherfucker hiding out. If you can find this man in the cave, you can find what's flying on it outside this planet. They found a man from outer space in no red dot.
Dude, I think we live in a day and age where we can find anybody instantly. You cannot hide no more. It's impossible to hide. Like, if they looking for you, if they want to find you, they got you. Good luck trying to hide. You cannot hide no more. It's impossible.
I say either off-world or the ocean. That's like the two deep depths of the ocean.
Yeah,
that might be the
ocean is probably your best bet. But good luck breathing underwater.
For real. Speaking of ocean, this ain't got
pressure.
Oh, hell. Speaking of that, so this ain't got nothing to do with I'm done with that asteroid, the meteorite story, because nobody got harmed. Everybody's cool. But so I watched the video yesterday. One of the guys, like, I think the anniversary, I don't know if the anniversary came up for the submarine or whatever it was. I don't think it is the anniversary. But the wife of one of the people that was on that submarine with all them rich people, she like sat down and listened to the recording the other day of it imploding. Like, I don't know why. Like, I mean, I don't know if anybody saw this online, but it was like a video I saw of where she's like sitting like in a room, and I guess like with like maybe other people, the Oceania or whatever it's called project, that the submarine project. They were sitting around. There's like, hey man, we want you. This is the last recording we got. We have the recording of the explosion. She was just sitting there, listen to that shit explode in the ocean, and she started crying. I'm like, man, bro, like you couldn't get me. It's like listen to like a car accident of like that killed your husband or something, or
you heard the whole man like
it's like muffled and everything. Like, I don't know. I thought that was I mean, everybody has different ways to process. Like for me, for my example, when my dad passed away, I actually saved his last voicemail he ever sent me because he was lost. He was lost driving to like a college graduation, a high school graduation he was going to. So I saved my dad's voicemail and I listen to it. I don't listen to it all the time because it'll make me sad. But there's times when I want to hear his voice, I'll listen to the voicemail. So I mean, I get it on some level, but I don't. A submarine being destroyed and crushed hotter than the heat of the sun, surface of the sun.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, but everybody's different though. It's grieving is different.
When we both died, like we still got all our podcasts up, so to be like, damn.
Oh, we're immortal.
Yeah, immortalized. As long as like YouTube servers are still up, Spotify servers are still up, all our stuff is still up.
Watch, we're gonna get famous after we die. This shit gonna be popping like
some William Shakespeare shit. Or who?
Like, damn,
who got famous after they died?
Oh, like a lot of artists, but from back in the day, writers, a lot of writers and artists seem to
their work didn't get like respected
died.
until after they died. They're like, oh, we were on to something.
Yeah, it's like Edgar Allan Poe. Like this man.
It's because like some of the stuff that we talked about, like even over like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago. You remember how we were talking about how Trump was a time traveler and shit? You know that topic Trump, right? is coming up now again on Instagram, on the whole algorithms. How they're saying Trump is a time traveler. There's like a book with Barron Trump, his son. Traveled back in 1800s and shit. And I actually got that book, but Bob, she got it. And now like that topic is coming up again on social media. And I was like, we talked about this like almost 10 years ago. A long time ago. Before, we were ahead of the game a long time ago. Because they had the whole shit where Trump's uncle, right? He works for like I don't know, some government, and then he actually confiscated all of what's his name, Tesla, took all his files from when he passed away in his hotel or whatever. They took all his files away after he passed away. Like I think he was like 80 years old.
Yeah, they found him like he's like dead in a hotel.
And then like they said like Tesla, he probably had like blueprints for a time machine or some bullshit like that, right? But then you get a weird book that was written around like that time about Barron Trump, the time traveler, where it's like a kid that travels like back in time. And then if you look at the cover of the book, it looks like Barron Trump when he was a kid, but he's wearing like the old school outfit, pretending to be like a king or some shit like that.
Damn.
And now it's like coming up in social media. I was like, they just got that story?
Right? Again, it's on rotation again. Every 10 years.
Like, we're on that story already. So I was wondering what other stories we talked about where it hasn't even came up yet.
I wondered, like, do we do another episode about this? So I was like, are we supposed to do another one? Like, is this back in rotation again? Like, every 10 years we'll just talk
like,
about
they have to catch up to us now. Even though, like, we're not big, like, they're repeating our stories.
Yeah.
Like, they're late.
Fine.
But even though more people saw their shit, like, our shit was before their shit.
Way before. This back when Trump was president the first time. Like, this is how long it's been.
Way before. Or maybe before he was president. Who knows?
It was somewhere in the beginning of it. I know it was before COVID. I know that. This is we go way back with that.
But I think it was in our podcast before our old podcast.
Your mom's basement? Or,
Twitch, Inside Twitch.
Inside Twitch, yeah, there you go.
I think it was like that time. So that's like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I got we OGs story. Yeah. This is the one that Bob sent me. It was 350 squirrels that was found in a Chinese restaurant. You heard about that?
What?
Because I started to think about it. I was like, if Chinese restaurants, right, if they're serving dogs and cats, I was like, that's hard to do. But then if you think about it, squirrels, because they said they found 350 squirrels at a restaurant in a freezer on ice. This happened on Tuesday. I was like, squirrels make more sense. Because no one, if a squirrel go missing, who knows? Who knows about it?
Man, don't nobody own no squirrel.
Yeah, so imagine you just making a squirrel trap just for their, for a Chinese restaurant.
Well, first of all, I didn't know squirrels had enough meat to even like.
Yeah, they do. Yep.
They're pretty meaty.
Like one squirrel can probably, if you're thinking about it, chopping up the meat, right? And then you mix it with rice and vegetable, and maybe they're getting like, I don't know, maybe like 5 grams of protein. And that's probably like I think one squirrel can probably maybe do like 10 trays of food.
Damn, they fat like that?
Probably 10 trays of food, or
I
8,
would've never
maybe 8.
guessed.
Because
Still a
like
lot,
when
though.
you, because look, when you do like the beef fried rice, right? When you if you actually look at how much beef you get, it's like maybe like 7 pieces of beef in your whole shrimp fried rice,
Right.
right? And then if you think about it, a squirrel, pretty big, right? Cut up their stomach, cut them in half. That's way more than like 7 pieces of meat. Like you can like chop it like real thin too, and then you could probably stretch one squirrel to like 12 entrees, 10, 12 entrees.
Damn.
And then you catching like 10, 20 squirrels a night.
Man, yeah. Look, there's never a short day. Look, there's never a short supply of squirrels, man. There's a bazillion of them out there.
Yeah, but then this restaurant happens to have 350 squirrels that was found in their freezer
That's crazy. What was this?
in New York. And they had a late night inspection. And then the health inspector, they were doing their routine check. You know, everything seems normal until they opened up one cooler. They're like, holy shit.
Which is a mass grave of squirrels.
What's this tail? Like, what kind of protein is that?
Bushy tail?
Oh my God, look at all these squirrels.
There's 300 of them.
Yeah, and then the crazy thing is, like, you know, well, it's not crazy because the squirrels are all skinned. They're like ready to be prepared, neatly packed, organized. So, you know, it's just somebody was doing, they had like a whole operation going on collecting squirrels.
Right.
Whoever they had the whole connection with, they were collecting the squirrels because it's all neatly packed, like, you know, in the bags and everything, skinned, everything.
Damn. So they was ready for business.
Ready for business. And because if you think about it, you go to the mall, right? And they pack you guys so much food, but it's like super cheap. And you're wondering why it's cheap. You know why it's cheap? They got to get rid of that meat because there's more meat that's coming and more fresh. They got to get rid of that squirrel meat ASAP.
Gotta clear it out.
Yeah, they got to clear that out. That's why like you're getting, and then the customer's like, oh, we're getting such a deal. Yeah, you're getting a deal on squirrel meat.
Fresh squirrel meat.
And we gotta get this. You gotta get this meat out because a new cycle's coming in. We gotta cook new fresh squirrel meat.
I wonder if squirrels are known for carrying diseases or something. I mean, I never saw them as like filthy creatures. They're just like rodents in the wild. Basically, I mean, it's not like they eat like garbage. I don't think.
Well, let me ask you this: how many people you know eat Chinese food that got sick? Like, when was the last time you got sick eating Chinese food?
Actually, my answer is never.
Same. I've never got sick eating Chinese food.
That's the real question we should be asking.
So I was like, damn, these squirrels might be clean.
Hey, look. I'm pretty sure when I've traveled the world, I've eaten meat and I didn't know what the hell it was. I think I've eaten a horse once and I didn't even know.
And dog.
To after the fact. And probably dog at some
Probably
point.
ate dog too, yep.
I almost know for a fact I've eaten a horse at one point and some other meat.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I don't want to know. This tastes pretty good though. like as long as it ain't people, I'm cool.
You probably ate people too.
Oh man, that has a good people burger.
Yeah.
Shit, bomb.
If you ever ate a sausage in New York, you probably ate a person.
Oh man, I've never even been in New York.
Or a
We're
child.
trying to go.
You probably ate a child.
Oh, actually, we're trying to go to New York for Christmas.
Run it. That's probably the best time to go.
Yeah, we're trying to go because we love Home Alone 2. So that's
Macaulay Culkin.
Macaulay Culkin. All right, let's see what I got.
But yeah,
what's that? Let's talk about Afro Man. Did you hear about Afro Man lately? Because I got high.
No, what happened?
Oh, you didn't hear about it? Okay.
No.
So Afro Man has been in the news lately. Some shit. Like, I heard about this story a couple years ago. It died off, and then it got this resurgence again because the cops didn't leave well enough alone. So Afro Man, whose real name is Joseph Foreman, became the center of a legal case after police raided his home in Adams County, Ohio, back in 2022. Local sheriff's deputies obtained a warrant and searched his property. Now, The cops suspected that Afro Man was drug trafficking and kidnapping.
Damn.
That's why they had a warrant. So during the search, officers entered his home, went through his belongings, and caused some property damage. I'm talking about they kicked a damn door off the hinges like you would see in a cartoon. You see like a door, and then you see the door flying forward, like out of the frame. I was like, man, this is like a Saturday morning cartoon. This is Bugs Bunny shit. So they kicked in his damn door and kicked it off the hinges, and this includes, like I said, by breaking his door. So no evidence of criminal activity was found, and Afro Man was not charged with any crime at all. What made this situation unusual, though, is that Afro Man had multiple security cameras installed in his home at the time the cops were in there, because he got to see some real shit how the cops was acting. The entire raid was recorded inside his property. But this is every time where people may want to consider having cameras in the home specifically for this. I agree, because some of these cops get down and dirty when in your house and they don't think you can't see them stealing shit, breaking shit, whatever. I saw a video last year. Some guy had a camera in his garage, and because the cop went into his house and went into the wrong house, and the guy was like, "Hey, yeah, can you get the fuck out of my house? You ain't supposed to be in here." And the cop was dead wrong for just running up in his man's house, thinking that he's looking for a suspect. While the cop was leaving the house, and the man that owned the house went back inside, the cop took his foot and kicked his driver's side door in, and then left. And the guy caught it all on camera. The cop tried to lie, say he didn't do it, but he's like, "Motherfucker, I got you on tape, bitch. You kicked in my damn driver door." So they'll act pissy and then will fuck up your shit. Not all cops, but some of them will act out of line. They act almost too human for the job. So after the incident, Afro Man chose to stay silent. Instead, he used portions of the surveillance footage in several music videos, which is hilarious, bro. He has camera footage that he took from the police raid, and he made music videos out of them. He's been doing this shit for 2 years.
Damn.
It is funny. And he has titles for these songs, including songs like "Will You Help Me Repair My Door?" or "Lemon Pound Cake." The reason why he has Lemon Pound Cake, because he has a camera that was in his kitchen, and one of the cops, when they was raiding his house, there was this big bone cop that was in the kitchen. He was in the kitchen with a gun, and he's looking around, and he kept looking at Afro Man's pound cake on the counter and the security camera footage.
And he ate it?
And so Afro Man made a song about this dude about to eat his pound cake. And so he's got plenty of videos up about this whole incident, but it was hilarious. So the video showed officers inside his home during the raid and portrayed the situation in a critical and sometimes humorous way. So this is where the shit really gets crazy. So because Afro Man was making these videos of these cops in his home, and he wasn't charged with a crime or anything, stories around, because he sounds like he lives in a small town. Well, small town rumors started to spread about these music videos, and everybody in the town started making fun of these cops online, everything. All hell broke loose. And because the cops couldn't take the scrutiny of them because what happened was Afro Man had money. I think he had $4,000 that was taken from his home. And when he got his money back, and the cops were like, "Oh, our bad, whatever," because Afro Man asked about where's my $4,000 that's missing from my house. When the cops gave it back, he only got back I think it was like $3,600. So $400 was missing, which means where the fuck my $400 at? Which to me ain't worth getting in trouble for as a police officer. $400 ain't shit. $4,000, all right. I mean, I'm not saying I would do it, but it's more reasonable if you it makes more sense to me. You trying to take money, but he already caught you this money missing. Why are you trying to skim off the top? Anyways, so Afro Man had $400 missing, and so he started making these music videos, and people online started making fun of these cops. And so because these cops were taking an ass chewing so much, and people started to find out who their identity was via the internet and making fun of them even more, these cops collectively, not the police department, these cops all decided to do a lawsuit against Afro Man to sue him for defamation. And that's why this whole situation came back up in the media recently, because Afro Man was on on trial for a defamation lawsuit against these cops. And so Afro Man in some of these songs was talking about I don't know how Afro Man knew all this dirt on these cops. I think he had a private investigator or some shit, but he was bringing up cops' personal lives in these music videos about how your wife is cheating on you with another man, and that's why your baby black. Because there's one of the cops that raided his house. He has a wife, and it's a white man and a white woman. Their baby is black. And I don't know how Afro Man knows this, but I don't know if he probably hired a private investigator. Some PI rolled up, cheater style, watching from a distance with big ass camera, and then with the zoom on it, and then he found out like they got a black baby, and so they did the lawsuit against Afro Man. Afro Man fought in court. He actually wound up winning the case. He didn't lose the defamation lawsuit case because it was within the boundaries of freedom of speech. And Afro Man was like, "Look, I'm a music artist. I take stuff in my life and I convert it to music. This ain't nothing different from what I've done before. I'm just taking what they did to me and I'm turning it into a song about what they did. And I have camera evidence to show that they did this and they violated my house and they pointed a gun at my damn kids and scared them and traumatized them. So I'm gonna make sure they live their lives of a living hell." Because they ruined they traumatized my family, so I'm gonna traumatize them. And so basically, it was this war between him and the cops, and he wound up winning with these music videos and everything. And it was funny too because the video they showed the other day, one of the female cops that was there, he has like a name for like low down Lisa. Talking about like she's like her name was like Lisa the police officer. He calls her like low down Lisa in the music video because maybe I think she gives head or something like to other people. Some shit. But he goes crazy with these videos. And so like she's on the witness stand crying while they play the music video during the trial. And she has to sit there and listen to it. So she's on the witness stand like crying as this diss song is talking about how she gets sucking dick by Afro Man. But Afro Man, if you ever look up Afro Man and what he looked like during the trial, bruh, I told Melissa, I was like, because they released a courtroom sketch of Afro Man in the trial. I was like, baby, I need this picture for my man cave. He's like wearing an all-American flag suit, even his shades all-American flag. He got an afro, and he's just sitting in the courtroom nodding his head as they play his music as evidence in the courtroom. And it's like a diss track about all these cops and their personal lives. And these people like shocked that, some of these cops are like really shocked that, how did Afro Man know about this shit about us? Like,
he knew
for
everything.
one, he knew everything about like this one cop was like Afro Man, like this one cop was like, well, Afro Man ruined my marriage with these music videos and yada yada yada. And so they wound up bringing up on the witness stand this cop's wife, his ex-wife. And so they asked the cop's ex-wife. Actually, I think Afro Man requested her to be on the witness stand. Brought this cop's ex-wife in. She got on the witness stand and they asked her, did Afro Man's music and what he did to your husband as a cop ruin your marriage? And she was like, no. Our marriage was over years before that. In fact, I have a restraining order on him that was way before this whole Afro Man thing happened. Afro Man wasn't even a factor in our marriage fault. So that's what helped him win the case. Like, oh, okay, so y'all all just fuck up crazy people and he didn't ruin any of y'all lives. Y'all violated this man. He making fun of y'all because y'all don't want to pay for his door to get fixed or the things y'all broken. The man won. So the internet this weekend was celebrating the victory of Afro Man as well. Shit, he fought the law and the Afro Man won. It was crazy shit. And all he did was with music videos. And he was in the right, man. You can't just be like, your badge don't give you any right to destroy people's shit, and especially not fix my shit. If you kicking my door over some false pretenses, the county, the department, somebody gonna pay for this damn door. And that was the thing. They didn't want to pay for Afro Man shit. And that's why Afro Man was like, you know what? If they're not going to pay for my stuff that they broke, I'm going to make music videos that's going to pay for my stuff. And I'm going to make music videos about them. And he did. Yeah. For 2 years straight, he made music videos about these guys. So, damn. Yeah, man. Fight the power.
I bet they have nightmares of him after all that.
Yeah, he gave it to him, man.
That's their boogeyman.
Yeah, Afro Man, that is. But yeah,
they're
that's
not
it for
fuck
that.
with him no more.
Not at all, man. Because they probably thought he was some dumb black rapper who made a song about because I got high. That they thought they was going to railroad him and break his shit and take his shit. And he was like, no. In fact, I have money and I can afford a lawyer. And that's when the shit got flipped. And I swear, I think he got a private investigator because some of the videos I was watching of him making fun of these cops, it was on a personal level. And I was like, well, he don't know them like that. But how would he know that unless he probably, after this whole situation, like, I'm going to hire a private investigator and just have them dig through all their shit. Because they live in a small town, too. Yeah. So it ain't too hard to find out people's dirt in small towns. So, he got him. Damn. Fuck him. Long live Afro Man.
What else we got? Are we good?
I think we might be good, man.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. We'll catch you guys next week on Tuesday. Peace out. Adios.
Sir, peace out.